So thank you, everybody. This is one of the weirder legislative sessions that we've all lived through because everything is remote. We have a number of people who will be talking about some of the issues that are before the legislature this year. We really have only one early childhood bill. It's House Bill 6558 that includes some important things. But before we get into talking about that, I want to ask Megan Adams, the director of the Bristol Preschool, to talk a little bit about the school readiness and CDC payment issues.
Good morning.
There we go.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you so much for everyone being here today. I'm really glad we can all rally together for early childhood. So I want to talk a little bit about the school readiness and CDC reimbursement rates. So I can't remember the last time CDC actually received a rate increase. I'll say we did actually receive one, a very little bit, to match the current school readiness reimbursement rate for preschool children. However, we are not sure that that money is actually going to stay in the new grant cycle. So we're being told that they might actually take that increase away. We don't know yet, so hopefully they don't, but either way. So for school readiness, in 2010, we were receiving $8,346 per student for full day, full year children. And we received a $578 increase in 2015. And since 2015, we've had the same reimbursement rate. It's $8,924 for school, for full day, full year children. Now, our minimum wage has gone up about 42% since that time, and it's only expected to go higher. And I think the concern is that we're constantly, we're expected to pay out and bump our lowest staff up to minimum wage, but what do we do for our higher staff? So we need more money. We need fair compensation for teachers. Most of our programs are NIAC accredited. We have bachelor's level teachers throughout the program. We have associate level teachers throughout the program. And quite frankly, minimum wage is not enough for the work that they do. So I am asking, and I am, pleading, please, if we can get some sort of rate increase for school readiness and CDC so that our programs can be high quality, equitable, compensate our teachers appropriately, and our work is important. And so that's kind of my feelings on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan, and we know that you are now getting ready for a visit from the Lieutenant Governor at your site, so it's a busy day. I'm going to move on to our next speaker, Lisa Tepper Bates, the director of the Connecticut United Way, who's going to talk about care for kids and child tax credit.
Good morning, and thank you, Meryl, and thank you to the Early Childhood Alliance for organizing this event today and for inviting United Way of Connecticut to participate. I'd like also to thank Commissioner Bai and Governor Lamont for continuing to make access to quality and affordable childcare a priority. We know that for young families in Connecticut, childcare is the largest monthly expense. According to the 2020 Connecticut United Way's ALICE report, a report on families who are asset limited, income constrained, and employed, it costs nearly $1,900 every month to provide childcare for one infant, one preschooler in registered family childcare. That's why access to affordable childcare is one of the biggest obstacles to completing post-secondary education and industry certifications for parents and caretakers with low income in Connecticut. Simply put, how can you pay the cost of quality childcare while you are seeking to enhance your job skills? It's challenge enough to study and hold down a job, pay for rent, and afford the costs of education at the same time. There's no good way to square that circle. The lack of available childcare supports for parents in our training and education programs is also a major impediment to our state's economic progress, including for thousands of Connecticut families who are hoping to achieve better financial security. Connecticut is one of only 2 states that does not allow parents or caretakers with low income who are enrolled in post-secondary job training or higher education to receive the state child care subsidy. And yet, in order to meet employers' skills and knowledge-based needs in our modernizing economy, 70% of Connecticut's working age adults should have some form of post-secondary work credential by 2025. Expanding eligibility in the Care for Kids program to include those parents in training or education programs will ease the way for more workers to enhance their skills and knowledge and help us as a state to achieve that important goal of 70% of our workers with that additional credential or post-secondary education. The COVID-19 pandemic has further proven, if we needed that proof, that access to childcare is essential to the state economy and to the success and stability of our families. Women, and in particular women of color, need access to necessary supports like childcare as they seek to re-enter the workforce or to secure better jobs during this time of significant economic upheaval. We know that 76% of parents who had to stop working during COVID so that they could provide their own childcare are women, and 3/4 of women who filed unemployment claims were women without college degrees. We must support these women in securing the necessary education, skills, and credentials required to re-enter the workforce and support their families. For Connecticut's women who are mothers to our state's 190,000 children under the age of 5, this requires access to the Connecticut Care for Kids program. We thank Governor Lamont and Commissioner Bai for the commitment of a 2-year $50 million investment to pay for childcare through Connecticut's Care for Kids program for parents enrolled in higher ed and approved workforce training programs. And it'll be critically important that our state make the commitment to continue to fund this Care for Kids expansion permanently. Another important path to supporting Connecticut's families with children is the establishment of a Connecticut Child Tax Credit. Reducing the tax burden of working families with children is good for businesses, good for our families, good for our communities. An act establishing the child tax credit against the personal income, that's HB 6654, will allow working and middle-class Connecticut residents with children to keep more of their hard-earned income. This valuable credit will serve as an important source of the flexible income eligible workers need to meet gaps in rent, food, childcare, and other essential family budget areas. The flexibility of the child tax credit allows families, rather than government, to identify and meet their most pressing needs. And for every child tax credit dollar earned, we return $1.38 to the economy in additional value, additional jobs, so that our families are supporting not only their own kids, but also their local economies and communities. Connecticut has an opportunity right now to positively and meaningfully impact Alice families who are trying to secure better jobs and work towards a more stable financial future with this important step of creating the Connecticut Child Tax Credit. And we're hoping to seize this opportunity together with all of you who are working so hard every day in our communities to support yourselves and your families. So thank you, Meryl, for being able to be here and to talk about these important issue areas.
Okay, and now, leap of faith here, because I have never met this parent, but we have a parent and a child care provider who want to talk about one of the Care for Kids eligibility issues. So Jessica and Cheyenne, are you on?
Jessica from Cheyenne's Early Learning Center
Okay.
in Bridgeport, a school readiness program.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi. So my name is Jessica. I'm one of the directors for Cheyenne's Early Learning Center out in Bridgeport. We are a school readiness site. I have here also Jessica. Her name is Jessica Rosa. She's one of our parents here. She's here with her baby, Noah. Last year, we closed the center on March 16th, due to the pandemic. And then Jessica, had to stop working because she has also a 3-year-old. So her 3-year-old couldn't go to school because we closed, due to the circumstances. So we didn't reopen until July 6th. So Jessica couldn't go back to work. She didn't have work because we were closed. So then we reopened, but then she was, pregnant and had baby Noah. So her redetermination came up, and it was time for her to prove to Care for Kids, how she's supporting her family. And at the time, she wasn't working because now she had the baby. She had no one to watch the baby. So Care for Kids told her, unfortunately, because you're not working, we have to take you off. So it kind of put a strain on her family, considering everything that happened last year. And then she had to figure out because Noah wasn't going to our center because he was still little. But Liam, she had to pull him out of the center once he returned because she didn't have the income anymore to provide for Care for Kids. So Liam was actually out of the center for about 2 months, and luckily we had the subsidized program. We were able to offer her a spot. So Liam was able to come back and join the school readiness program. But right now, she's still unemployed, and now she has a little baby, and she can't go back to work because she has nobody to watch him. And Care for Kids is not going to help her because she doesn't have any proof of income. So it's really important to share this story because it's not just her. There's so many other people out there that call us all the time, and they want to go to work, but they're not able to because Care for Kids, unfortunately, they're not helping them if they're not working. So it really puts a strain on a lot of families, and it would really be a great support to a lot of families if they could get that help, even if it's to a training or to find a school, something to further their education. I really think that this is so important, and it would really be nice to get them that help, So I just wanted to share that story with you guys.
Thank you, Jessica. So one of the provisions of House Bill 6558 would help to solve this dilemma that parents always face, the kind of chicken and egg situation of which comes first, the job or the childcare. And with Care for Kids, you need both at the same time. The proposal in 6558 would create a half-time childcare certificate for parents for the 3 months when they're looking for a job. Right now, if you have a job and you are on Care for Kids and you lose it, you have 3 months to find a job. What we were proposing would be to create a 3-month eligibility period for a half-time slot at the beginning while you're looking for work. And that is part of House Bill 6558.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt just to ask that for folks who need translation. I'm sorry, we're beginning that now. You can click interpretation and choose Spanish. If you're an English speaker, you can ignore it. Ava, are you able to give that instruction in Spanish?
Disculpa por la demora en la interpretación, teníamos problemas técnicos. Si deseas traducción para este webinar, por favor, actívalo ahora en tu pantalla, en tu caja de herramientas, la sección a donde dice More, M-O-R-E, para más, 3 burbujitas consecutivas. Lo oprimes Interpretation, interpretación, escoge Spanish para español, vas a ver la burbujita verde, de ahí activas la interpretación. Si tienes algún problema técnico, por favor, usa la cajita chat, C-H-A-T, en cualquier momento. Izzy, back to you.
All right.
Gimme. Meryl, it's you.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So you're going to mute everybody. Now I want to ask Tracy Madden Hennessy from the New Britain YWCA to talk a little bit about the proposal to create a new way for family childcare businesses to start in a business incubator model. Tracy?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. So it's great to see everybody on this call. As Meryl indicated, my name is Tracy Madden Hennessy. I'm the Executive Director of the YWCA New Britain. And the incubator is part of House Bill 6558. And we are particularly supportive of this bill in New Britain, given the long-standing shortage of infant toddler care in our community. And this concept melds a business incubator model with that of family daycare. And in 2018, we were able to propose this concept to Harvard University, and it received the Zaintz Early Childhood Innovation Prize. So this is really the third time around for this proposal, and we're hoping we can bring it across the finish line this year. But prior to the pandemic, 92% of our community's children under age 3 didn't have access to quality childcare in our community. And that situation, as I think we've been hearing, has only gotten worse with reductions in infant toddler slots due to the pandemic. And given the current she session, which disproportionately impacts women, this shortage is really making it difficult for women to return to the workplace. And for communities like New Britain, where the rate of children in single female-headed households is twice that of the state, this is really a critical matter. We've done local surveys of parents with young children, and they've indicated they prefer a home setting over an institutional setting for infants and toddlers. So this model is kind of viewed as a viable way to address the shortage of care, but also get them into a home setting with a provider. So it's a melding of two concepts. And it's also for communities that have a lot of rental housing, a way to address the operation of a business, because in New Britain, 60% of our residents rent, and so many landlords don't want childcare businesses on their properties. Also, many of our families are low income, so the cost of licensing and equipping home space to operate a home daycare is prohibitive. So in our vision for an early childhood business incubator, private and shared space would provide individuals who want to run their own childcare business a place to start. The concept includes training related to business operations and child development. And typically those who operate out of their home are isolated from others doing this work. So this incubator will give providers a support of peers all in one place who can share resources. Given that this concept is new, action has to be taken so that pilots testing the concept's viability can move forward. Right now, regulation does not cover this type of model, so we can't even offer this type of programming in our community. So this legislation, in a limited sense, addresses the regulation needed to bring this concept to fruition. Connecticut really has the opportunity to lead in an innovative space that supports women's economic development. So we are really urging legislators to take action on this. Otherwise, we can't even move forward in proposing this concept in our varied communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.